Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Blackest Night, Issue 1, sees Tempest continue his journey through the Dark Multiverse, knowing on his path he sees darkness but also light. He talks about how Nekron unleashed the power of the Black Lantern to create a new Lantern Corps, the Black Lanterns, causing the Color Corps to come together to fight, and in the war, Sinestro became the first White Lantern, sharing his power with others like Hal Jordan to defeat Nekron and the Blackest Night. However, in another world, Sinestro refuses to share his power, and in the process, the Color Corps failed to hold back the darkness, which killed them and resurrected them as Black Lanterns, as Sinestro was forced to live with his decision, becoming that of White and Black. 19 days later, Lobo fights the Black Lantern zombies defending Dove on Earth, scolding her for her choice of a safe haven. Zombie Cyborg tries to convince Dawn to join him and their friends, but she says someone has to have hope. Lobo rips Cyborg in half, but is attacked by Starfire, who bites him and infects him. Lobo guts the former hero as the infection subsides thanks to his Zarnian cells pushing it out of his body. Wonder Girl and Beast Boy attack, stomping on the bounty hunter, but suddenly all the undead heroes are told to live by the arriving Sinestro. Sinestro says that the white light reminds them of how much life can hurt before his black ring draws them into oblivion. As the monsters are left in a constant loop of death and rebirth, Lobo says that he thought Sinestro was a Yellow Lantern still, but the former villain says that things have changed and he was chosen to stop Nekron. Lobo wants to know what brings him to Earth, learning it is Dawn, since she is the avatar of peace and is literally the only living woman left alive on Earth. And to top it off, she is immune to the black rings. Because of this, he wishes to conduct some experiments on her to find the key to ending this all. Lobo has problems with that since he was tasked with taking Dawn to Takron-Galtos by an unknown benefactor. Sinestro thinks his benefactor has some insight into what Dawn can do, so he will accompany them, hoping to team with the investor to crack the case. They head to Lobo's bike Ramona as Dawn says that the Lords of Chaos and Order chose her to bear these powers, and she survived on her own for weeks, so no one tells her where to go. She looks back at the Titans as they call for her to join them so they can be together again, as Dawn decides it's time to leave, boarding Ramona with Sinestro and Lobo as they blast off. Sinestro tells Lobo to be careful thanks to the Thanagarians sending their whole fleet to Earth to stop the Black Lanterns, but they were annihilated, so their remains litter the solar system now. Sinestro says that they can't trust the bike's sensors since there is something that is absorbing every wave of light it crosses. A swarm of Black Lanterns, 19 trillion of them to be exact. Sinestro tells Dawn and Lobo to dampen their emotions since the Black Lanterns harness all of the emotional spectrum, and when their souls are resurrected via the black light, Nekron manipulates them, giving them motivation to accept his horrific transformation. Once no emotion remains for them to consume, they move on to other sources and will devour and spread until nothing is left. 6 days later, the trio arrive at Takron-Galtos, where Sinestro feels one life form and Lobo finds them on his scanners. But he thinks it's a trap, and if it is, he's tearing the whole prison planet apart. Jumping into the unknown, Sinestro and Dove look to find whom the heartbeat belongs to. Lobo is angered that he is letting his bounty get away and goes after them, loudly smashing through the building below where they are confronted by hundreds of Black Lantern new gods. Sinestro can't seem to control these Black Lanterns, and even if he could restore them, he can't restore a fallen god. Lobo attacks, saying he's taking them as trophies as the uninfected Mr. Miracle arrives, telling them to run. As the Black Lantern, Big Barda and Granny Goodness follow Scott, he leads them into a cell before boom tubing out of there, sealing them in a locked chamber. He returns to the trio, thanking Lobo since he's been worth every penny. Lobo is surprised that Scott hired him as the hero hugs Dove. Sinestro knows that this was a trap, but not for them, but for the Black Lanterns. Scott says that he's been going from cell to survive, but the cries and threats are getting to him. Lobo wonders why he doesn't just boom tube the zombies into the nearest black hole, but Sinestro knows that Scott has a plan, and he does indeed, saying that the Genesian science says that the end of the known universe is a barrier, which Sinestro knows is the source wall. Beyond that wall is the cosmic energy of creation, and if unleashed, it has the opposite effect of Nekron. It is pure life, but it's chaotic and random, which means it needs something to focus and contain it, which is where Dove comes in, since as she is an avatar of order and peace, she can do just that. Scott says that if he can use the mother box to open the wall, the power can be filtered through Dove and resurrect the Black Lanterns, giving them life again. He apologizes to Dove for sending Lobo, but he doesn't have much time and he only needs one more thing, Sinestro's White Lantern ring, which he knew would be coming with them since Sinestro would no doubtedly come with Dove and Lobo after learning about what they are up to. Sinestro is impressed as the hero tells Lobo he's free to leave, unless there is a reason he could stay. Lobo says that if they mess this up, his money won't be worth anything, so he's coming to protect his investment. He leaves to prep his bike since he won't be going through a boom tube as Scott finishes up his calculations. Sinestro notices that Dove is staring at his ring, and she says that after the Black Lanterns spread, her old partner Hank Hall, came for her, but thanks to her powers he couldn't kill her, so all he did was taunt her, trying to get under her skin and drive her insane. She couldn't take it anymore, so she ran to Titan's tower to look for safety, but she managed to bring chaos with her, which is when she ran into Lobo. She says that soon Sinestro showed up and she took that as a sign that this must be what she was chosen for. The team arrive at the source wall and Scott gets to work, telling Sinestro he will channel the power from the wall and his ring into the resurrection harness he made while Lobo covers them. Sinestro knows that Lobo cares for Dawn, and because of that he has led the Lanterns to them. Not just any Lanterns either, but Soranik and Hal Jordan, who say Sinestro is the one who caused all of this to happen. But that's not all. He is also the one that led them to Takron-Galtos, so they were able to free their friends and reunite the Furies of Apocalypse with the Black Lantern Darkseid. Sinestro says Darkseid possessed by Nekron will be unstoppable, but Lobo takes it as a challenge, confronting the villain who blasts him with his Omega Beams, killing the bounty hunter. Sinestro fights the different color core leaders, killing them all and telling them that they have gotten what they deserve. Hal and Soranik grab Sinestro as Scott calls for his help, but Sinestro knows he cannot face his greatest failures. But suddenly there is a bright light, telling Hal and Soranik to live. The two Black Lanterns are painfully transformed back into Green Lanterns, as Sinestro faces the fact that his selfish nature is what doomed the universe. He asks Hal and Soranik to forgive him, as Hal says that he was the greatest of them all. Suddenly they are consumed again by the Black Lanterns, as the reborn Lobo kills both of them, telling Sinestro to get back to Dove, as himself and his duplicates kill the Lanterns, as the main man confronts Darkseid again, clawing one of his eyes out and causing the other Lanterns to react to the pain. While they are distracted, Sinestro blasts Dove with the ring, collecting the power of creation. Darkseid says that if Scott does this, he will never see his wife again, but Scott won't listen to Darkseid since he's nothing more than a meat suit for Nekron. The Nekron-possessed Darkseid says that the Avatar of Order will not reverse any of this, it will destroy it and start anew. To prove it, he uses his power to make Sinestro speak the truth, getting Sinestro to tell them that it will reset the universe, and he's known all along. Dove wants this to happen since all that they need to survive is hope, and they have loads of that. Lobo wants it to happen as well, but Scott can't let it happen since he wants his wife back, so he kills Dawn. Lobo flies into a rage, saying how pure and good Dawn was, and after the Black Lanterns took his dolphins, she was the last good thing left. Lobo kills Mr. Miracle as Darkseid says that darkness grows as light dies. He talks with the decaying Sinestro, who refuses to accept Nekron's will, saying there is only Thal Sinestro now, and he's survived this all. He returns as a White Lantern, burning away all of the Black Lanterns as he says he refuses to fail again. Grabbing Lobo, Sinestro says that he can be used in Dawn's place. As Darkseid comes for Sinestro, he activates the Mother Box, saying this is his destiny and creation will be remade in Lobo's image. Lobo is blasted by the life energy as it covers Darkseid, killing him and Nekron as the white light spreads through the universe, killing everything and wiping it clean. Within months, accelerated life grows, each with their own image of the single progenitor, Lobo, whom they worship as their one and only god. Because of this, many civilizations grow violent, warring with one another. Sinestro, now the Limbo Lantern, is left to watch the chaos chaos unfold, trying to escape his creation, but he cannot as Tempest watches on, knowing he must seal this universe before it pollutes his own and others. Tales from the Dark Multiverse Blackest Night issue 1 was yet another damn awesome Dark Multiverse Elseworlds-like story. I loved how Lobo and Dove and Sinestro were the main characters, again using slightly lesser known or not A-list characters to tell a really cool spin on a familiar story. It was cool seeing Sinestro getting to play both a white and black lantern and deal with the guilt of being the one who was selfish enough to keep all the power for himself and in turn destroy the whole universe. Tim Seeley explored it really well here, especially near the ending with Sinestro getting trapped in a chaos-filled remade universe and unable to escape his own creation. I think that's brilliant, and I'd love to see it continue and see what that actually does to him and how it drives him insane. These one-shots have all been excellent so far, so I'm looking forward to the Infinite Crisis one next. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.